Okay, good afternoon. Yes, the title of this story is What Happened to the Reptiles. Okay, what
Sir,
is the title of the
you're breaking.
story? What happened to the reptiles? So, there is a story, and within that story, there is one more story. So, there is a story, and yes, within that story, there is one more story. So, it's a very interesting one. And this story is about what? It is about a Prabhupati, Pambupati village. So, what is the name of Pambupati village? Yes, what is the name of the village? Pambupati. And this was a peaceful village. So here Prem narrates the story. Yes, Prem narrates the story. Yes. Shiv Baswa, you are joined just now. If you don't understand, you can ask me. No problem. So this is a very very interesting story. What happened to the reptiles? So let's go to this story. You may not believe this story, but I can tell you it is true because I have been to Pambupati. So Pambupati is name of a village. ಒಂದು ಊರಿತ್ತು ಆ ಊರಿದ ಹೆಸರೇನು पंबुपति. एक गांव था और उस गांव का नाम पंबुपति. वहां के लोग कैसे रहते थे? इट वॉज अ वेरी वेरी पीसफुल विलेज. शांतिपूर्ण गांव था. कोई झगड़ा एक दूसरे से नहीं करते थे. सो पंबुपति दिस विलेज इट वॉज ऑन द एज ऑफ द जंगल. So in the border of the jungle, this village was there. What is the name of the village? Pambupati. It is on a cliff, so it's on the hilltop there, cliff, and the vast forest stretches below like a mossy green carpet. So when you look down, so Harsh is asking whether it's really there, this village. It may be there. So when you look down there, there was a vast forest and it was looking like a mossy green carpet. It was looking like a carpet, yes, of the moss, covered with moss. So there are many kinds of people in the village, dark, fair, tall, short. So various kinds of people are there in the village. They speak many languages. Some eat meat, some don't. Some pray in a small temple at the edge of the forest. Others pray in a mosque some miles away. So this story, yes, in this story, yes, we come across a village. And what is the name of the village? Pambupati. And where is this village? It's on the hilltop, this village. Yes, there are different kinds of people there. Yes, unity in diversity. Very peaceful village. They never used to fight with each other. My name is Prem. So, who is the narrator here in this story? It's a Prem. So, Prem goes on telling the story. So, first story is of Prem, and another story, the story narrated by Prem. So, there are two stories which are very, very interesting stories here. So, let's see this first story. My name is Prem, and I live many hundred miles away from Pambupati. So, here Prem is the narrator, yes, and Prem belongs to a village which is far away from Pambupati. I had heard about the village, but I had never been there. So he says, I have heard about that village, but I have never been to that particular village. Then last year, something terrible happened. Then something terrible, something, yes, horrifying thing happened. The people of my own village went mad. So there was a frenzied mob. And what has taken place? Communal riots have taken place. हिंदू मुस्लिम झगड़ा किया और दोनों झगड़ा करने के बाद क्या हो गया सो ಹಿಂದೂ ಮುಸ್ಲಿಂ ಅವರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಜಗಳ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ so what has happened in that particular village far far in a place they have never ever been to a temple or mosque had been burned down so in that village what has happened people became mad they fought with each other the temples they were burned down the mosques were burned down they were destroyed so people fought with each other in the name of the religion they started fighting with one another some had to run away in the middle of the night and at 3 in the morning, as I lay in my house, half awake to the sounds of hate and violence, so people hated each other. ತುಂಬಾ ಜಗಳ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಒಬ್ರಿಗೊಬ್ರು ತಿರಸ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ they did not love each other and there was a lot of violence and because of that violence there was a fire many houses were burned down in the fire one of them was mine and even Prem's house was also burnt down. Then what did Prem do? So Prem is narrating his own story. So what did Prem do? Let's see here. What did Prem do? I managed to grab a few cloths, some coins. So some money grabbed my little Ganesh statue, Ganesh idol that he had in the house. That also he took and he ran away from his house. I ran for a day and night, resting whenever my legs would not carry me any further. So he rested the place when he was very tired, when he could not go further. What did he do? Yes, he was scared. Yes, he was scared that people might attack him, people might kill him. His house was burned down. I jumped onto a train. Then he went, no, he traveled by a train. Then he traveled by a bus. No tickets because he hardly had any money. He had very little money. Never mind. Everyone, so here you can see people running away from the village, isn't it? And Prem is there, right? Ida seem to be running. So all people they were running. Yes, they were all running away. I found myself in Pambupati. So where he has come now? He has come to the town Pambupati. He has come to the place Pambupati, which was a very very peaceful village. I saw some villagers gathered near a well. I ran to them, and before I could say a thing, I fainted. So he happened to come to the town Pambupati. He happened to come to this place Pambupati, and there, when he had come running there, he fainted. He became unconscious. क्या हो गया बेशुद्ध हाँ वो yes he fainted there. He lost his Yes, he was very exhausted. Yes, Sanjay. Yes, he was very exhausted. And because he walked for long distance, probably he did not have enough food also to eat. And then maybe due to that exhaustion or tiredness, he fainted. When I opened my eyes, sir, please speak in Hindi. Okay, fine. अभी प्रेम के गांव में क्या हो गया बहुत झगड़ा हो गया हिंदू मुस्लिम झगड़ा किया कुछ लोगों ने मंदिर को डिस्ट्रॉय किया कुछ लोगों ने मॉस्क पे अटैक कर दिया तो व्हाट हैज हैपेंड अल्टीमेटली क्या हो गया दोनों के झगड़ा में बहुत से लोग गांव छोड़ के गए प्रेम उनका उसका घर भी जला दिया लोगों ने तो प्रेम ने क्या ड्यू टू फाइटिंग तो प्रेम क्या किया गांव छोड़ दिया सो लेट्स गो टू द स्टोरी एंड मे बी एज वी गो ऑन विल एक्सप्लेन टू दैट सो अभी जब पंबुपति उस गांव में आ गया प्रेम तभी अपना वो एक ही बार क्या हो गया ही फेंटेड फेंट हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं उसको बेशुद्ध गिर पड़ा हो क्योंकि बहुत ही टायर्ड हो गया था ट्रेन में ट्रैवल किया टिकट नहीं दिया कुछ पैसा उसके पास था so he has come to the Pambupati village so where when he opened his eyes he saw an old man with white hair white beard very experienced person and very mature person shining black eyes bending over me so here was an old man who was taking care of him for the next few days, he looked after me. So he took care of him. Who took care of him? This old man. Putting food in my mouth and bringing me sweet, cool water from the stream. So the old man was taking care of Prem. So Prem has narrated the story of his village from where he had run away. And where he has come? He has come to the town, to the village called Pambupati. He rubbed my feet gently, made the pain go away. नेबर्स स्ट्रेंजर्स एवरीवन केम टू विजिट मी सो जो घर के बाजू में थे ना वो भी आ गए जिनको जिनके बारे में उसको कोई मालूम नहीं था स्ट्रेंजर्स वो भी आ गए सभी देखने लगे टेल मी ग्रैंडफादर प्रेम सेड व्हाट डिड प्रेम से टेल मी ग्रैंडफादर आई हैव नेवर सीन पीपल लाइक द विलेजर्स हियर यहाँ पे जो लोग हैं ना बहुत अच्छे लग रहे हैं लोग आके मेरे बारे में पूछ रहे हैं ಜನರು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ನನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ in my village people fight with those who pray to another god so in my village people fight in the name of the religion people fight in the name of god but here this seems a very strange place यहाँ तो बहुत ही अच्छा लग रहा है प्लेस बहुत स्ट्रेंज है लोग यहाँ कोई झगड़ा कुछ नहीं करते एंड देन प्रे replied pray this old man replied to pray Prem, I'll tell you the story of Pambupati. You can take this story back to your village. Maybe it will heal some of its wounds and dry some of its sores. So now here this old man narrates the story of Pambupati. Yes, and now he is telling us the story of Pambupati. Okay, so we are moving on to the next story. So within this story, there is a one more story and very interesting story of the reptiles. Okay, oh grandfather, I said anxiously with lot of worry. He said, "Don't say that. What I have seen in my village makes me burn with shame. I feel ashamed क्योंकि झगड़ा कर रहे हैं लोग धर्म के नाम पर झगड़ा कर रहे हैं तो मुझे बहुत ही बुरा लगता है आई फील अशेम्ड ऑफ माई सेल्फ आई नेवर नेवर वॉन्ट टू गो बैक देर उस जगह पे मैं जाना नहीं चाहता बट दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाई यू मस्ट गो बैक तुम जाना चाहिए आपस में भाईचारा कैसा रह सकता है उनको बोलना चाहिए he said in a soft voice ಜನರ ಜಗಳ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬೇಡ ಅವ್ರು ಯಾರ ರೀತಿಲಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆ ರೀತಿಲಿ ಇರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯವೇ ಇದೆ ನೀ ಅದು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು ಐ ಕೆಪ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೈಟ್ ಐ ಡಿಂಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯೂ ವಿತ್ ಹಿಮ್ ಸೊ ಪ್ರೇಮ್ ಡಿಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಆರ್ಗ್ಯೂ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ and I wanted to hear his story. So this old man narrates the story. So he tells the story of Pambupati. So let's go to the story of Pambupati. And what is the name of the leader there of the animals? Makar. Okay. It happened a long, long time ago. So he started telling that long time ago what happened. So long ago that there were no schools, no teachers. Makar, right? Children lived in caves with their parents and helped them to collect fruit and berries from the forest. So there were no schools, no teachers. Who were there? They were only animals. At that time, there were no tigers or panthers or elephants in Pambupati forest. There were only reptiles. Who were there? Only reptiles. Many kinds of reptiles. Count this, सांप थे. There were snakes. They were crocodiles. Yes, crocodiles थे, मगरमच्छ थे, turtles were there, tortoises were there, lizards were there. And you know that a reptile has scales on its body and it lays eggs. Every month the reptiles of Prabhupati had a big meeting. और वो जो reptiles थे ना meeting करते थे. Everyone came. The pretty excited snakes. So here the beautiful snakes who were excited they also came. The slow thoughtful tortoises जो जिनका दिमाग बहुत ठंडा रहता है slowly सोचते हैं slow thoughtful tortoises they came. The clever quick lizards lizards बहुत quick रहते हैं ना so they also came lizards घर में देखा होगा ना lizards बहुत cleverly move करते हैं yes they also came can you see her now here the leader Makar is the leader sir your voice is not coming my voice is not coming yes what is wrong with my voice I think it's quite clear maybe some
Yes,
problem
sir.
network problem with you there
Clear.
okay and the moody crocodiles grumpy because so angry yes crocodiles they were very angry because they were out of water so your voice is coming okay Sanjay right so the president of these meetings was Makar so Makar was the president the biggest crocodile of the forest the leader Makar देखेंगे अभी उसमें कौन सी लीडरशिप क्वालिटीज है मकर में हाँ मकर ही लीडर है देखेंगे वो मकर क्या करता है so the biggest crocodile of the forest he was a king of yes them the leader of these animals because these were all reptiles all the animals thought he was very important when someone is strong and powerful it is difficult not to go along with what he says or does so now one day a strange thing happened it was a week before one of the monthly meetings. So the monthly meetings of the reptiles was taking place, and you can see all these reptiles have come there. Then Makar sent a letter. So he has sent a letter to all these reptiles, okay? And he has sent a letter to whom? To the tortoises, asking them not to come to the meeting. सो टॉर्टाइज को टर्टल्स को उनने मैसेज भेज दिया लेटर भेज दिया क्या लिखा था उसमें ऐसे द बिग ओल्ड स्टार टॉर्टाइज विथ ब्लैक एंड येलो पिक्चर्स ऑन हिज शेल वाज वेरी एंग्री व्हाट डज दिस मीन ही shouted how can they say like this to us not to come but not one of the tortoises had the courage to attend the meeting so they did not go to the meeting because they were not called for the meeting but there were so few, the others so many. So no, the tortoises were very few. But there were many other reptiles there. Before the meeting, the giant Makar polished his teeth with the red flowers of the tree. So polishing his teeth, and everybody was afraid of crocodiles. Makar was the leader, yes, biggest crocodile, and they had all gathered there. So he polished his teeth where? With the red flowers of the tree by the river till they sparkled. So the leader, makeup करके सब कुछ करके आ गया. He polished his teeth to make them afraid. Probably दांत दिखाया तो काफी है ना. Yes, मगरमच्छ के आप दांत देखेंगे तो भाग जाएंगे ना. अभी कछुआओं को आमंत्रण ही नहीं दिया था. Everyone was waiting for him at the meeting place. Brothers and sisters. So he started the meeting. Yes. स्वामी विवेकानंद ने बोला था ना. पर यहाँ ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स कौन बोल रहा है? मकर बोल रहा है. और all the reptiles, even the beautiful king cobra, stopped talking. Everybody stopped talking. Makar continued his speech. I have decided that we don't need the tortoises. I have told them not to come today. Brothers and sisters, can you tell me why we don't like the tortoises? The reptiles looked this way and that. They felt very uncomfortable. Who were feeling very uncomfortable? The reptiles were feeling very uncomfortable because he tells, can you tell me why we don't like the tortoises? We don't need tortoises here. The snakes hissed anxiously. They were worried. Everybody was feeling uncomfortable. The lizards, they moved their tails, regard their tails. Very quickly they moved their tails. The crocodiles opened their jaws even wider and they were surprised, other crocodiles. But Makar had taken the decision. But no buts. Makar, the leader of the crocodile, shouted. There was silence. I think, no, I think. No, who was saying? Makar was saying. The biggest crocodile was saying so loudly that the fruit in the tree above him rained down. He shouted, and then when he screamed, then what happened? The fruits have fallen down, because of his shout. After that, no one had the courage to speak. अभी कोई लीडर जो से बोल रहा है शाउटिंग कर रहा है कौन बोलेगा ना और वो तो क्रोकोडाइल खा लेगा यस मकर क्लियर्ड हिज थ्रोट एंड शोड a few more teeth which he had polished. Well, I will tell you why we don't like the tortoises. They are very slow, so stupid. So what is the reason? What is the reason? Because the tortoises are stupid and slow. Why he doesn't want the tortoises there in the Pambupati forest? They even carry, so throw them out. They even carry their houses on their backs. So they are carrying those shells, no, on their houses, and that's their house. Those shells. Whoever heard of such a stupid thing? Now you lizards, you live in trees. Would you ever carry a tree on your back? Would you? Small, frightened voices answered together, no, we wouldn't. So here, the tortoises are stupid and the tortoises are slow. So what we should do? We should throw them out of the Pambupati forest. No buts. Now listen. I have told the tortoises that they will have to move out of Pambupati. हमारे फॉरेस्ट में हमारे जंगल में वो नहीं रहेंगे. When they go, we will have more of everything, more food, more water, more space. I want them out by tomorrow. But because they are such slow coaches, I have given them 1 week. वो तो बहुत स्लो है, धीमी गति से जाते हैं ना. चलो उनको हम 1 week दे देंगे, 1 हफ्ता दे देंगे. By next Tuesday, we won't have a single tortoise left in this jungle. And by the following Tuesday, they were all gone. Who were gone? Tortoises were gone. At first, the animals were sad, but then they realized that what Makar had said was true. There was more food, more water, more space. But soon a strange smell began to fill the forest. What happened? When the tortoises disappeared, when they left the forest started smelling of rotting fruit. Yes, dumb decision. Yes, very stupid decision, of Makar. Because, there was a smell of rotting fruit on the ground, rotting animals in the river who were eating all that, the tortoises were eating all that rotten smell. This was what the tortoises used to eat. And even Makar had to go about holding his nose with his big claws. So Makar, it was a big punishment for him now. Lot of smell, very bad smell. When bad smell is there, you will try to run away, no? You will try to cover your nose. You will try to hold your nose. And even Makar also had to hold his nose. A month passed by, next meeting, then the same thing happened all over again. But this time it was the snakes. Makar is the worst leader, right? No, you are here to become a leader. Yes. Makar wrote them one of his letters. They were to leave the forest, and since so now same thing happened all over again. But this time it was the snakes. And what happened to the snakes? Makar wrote them one of the letters. They were to leave the forest. And since they could move fast, they had to go in a day. So in a day, who was supposed to leave? All the snakes. Naga, the head of the snakes, pleaded for more time. But Makara would not give in. He was not ready to agree. At the meeting, he silenced the others, the lizards and crocodiles, who are remaining now. The lizards are remaining with even louder shouts and threats. Snakes are slimy. Snakes are very unpleasant. अच्छा दिखाई नहीं देता ना slimy. बहुत बुरा दिखाई देते हैं. And they make funny noises, hissing noises they make. Who wants to hear those noises? Who wants such a weird, who wants such strange creatures around? Again, no one dared to disagree with Makar. And so the snakes left. पहले कौन गए थे? पहले कौन गए थे? Tortoises. अभी किसकी बारी आ गई? Snakes की बारी आ गई. यार ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಹಾವುಗಳು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿದ್ರು ಪ್ರಭುಪತಿ yes ಪಂಬುಪತಿ ಫಾರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾ ಮಕರ್ ಮೇಡ್ ಆಲ್ ಟು ಗೋ ಔಟ್. Okay, let's see whether even crocodiles go at the end. For a while, the animals of the forest were happy because they had been a little afraid of the snakes. You are afraid of the snakes. No, snakes are quite harmful, but not all snakes are harmful. Okay, you never knew when one of them might lose his temper, and the snakes might lose their temper. Suddenly, they become angry, spit some venom, spit some poison at you, and it took only a little poison to kill you. And little bite of snake is enough to kill you, isn't it? Okay, let's move on to the story now. Yes, recently what happened, your dear classmate Mir had a scorpion bite and he was taken to the hospital. And yes, now here the snakes, okay, reptiles. So let's move on to the story now. Can you see our Makar? Yes. So Makar has taken the decision. Now let's a few weeks pass and animals of the forest look tired and fed up. Who were tired? The animals of the forest, they were tired. They were fed up. The rats, now that there were no snakes to eat them, and everywhere there were snacks. The rats had taken over the forest and they were having a wonderful time. Who were having a wonderful time? Yes, rats were having wonderful time. They were everywhere on the trees, in the grass, in the bushes, on the ground. They ate up the eggs of the lizards and crocodiles. See, the crocodiles also had a very bad time. There would be no babies that year. Makara's own nest of eggs had been chewed up. देखो मकर को भी प्रॉब्लम हो गया. Then Makar had a great idea. He called a meeting of the crocodiles and said, wouldn't it be wonderful if we, yes, the crocodiles could have the whole jungle for ourselves. कोई नहीं रहेगा, हम ही रहेंगे. Only crocodiles, no one but us. These lizards, now just look at them. They have the strangest habits. Some of them even change color. How can we trust someone? वो तो अपना यस कलर भी रंग भी बदलते हैं ना. जो रंग बदलने वाले हैं उनको कैसे हम विश्वास में ले सकते हो? हाउ कैन वी ट्रस्ट? ಹೆಂಗ್ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತದೆ? So lizards, they should all leave. How can we trust someone who is green one minute, red the next? Let's get rid of them. Let's throw them out. But by now, the crocodiles were really scared of Makar. So they clapped and cheered. They were worried that yes, they can camouflage. Yes, very good. Makar was pleased. He was very happy. The lizards left the forest. So all other animals have left. Only who is left? Only crocodiles are left, some with their babies on their backs. But now, when life should have been wonderful for the crocodiles of Pambupati, all kinds of terrible things began to happen. इसी के लिए सब कुछ सब लोग मिलजुल के रहना चाहिए। हम जब वैरायटी देखते हैं ना, डाइवर्सिटी देखते हैं ना, अच्छा लगता है हमें। To begin with, the rats grew bolder by the day. They became so fearless that they jumped and turned somersaults on the crocodile's back. They were not afraid of the crocodiles. There were no snakes to eat them, and there were too many frogs. They seemed to be growing larger. वो तो रेप्टाइल्स का जगत था ना। अभी वो स्नेक्स, यहाँ पे क्या फ्रॉग्स ज्यादा बढ़ गए। then there were rats everywhere, and there was no one to eat them but the crocodiles. These huge frogs began to eat the baby crocodiles and the insects. Now that the lizards were gone, there were millions of the insects. So हर एक का अपना unique place है. That unique place one should realize. Let them be people. Every person is unique in this world. So growing bigger and nastier, who were growing bigger? Lizards. And they were becoming bad day by day. It was a terrible time for the crocodiles. They couldn't understand what had happened to their happy forest home. So the forest home, which was really good, wonderful one, what happened to their forest home? So they were all wondering, yes, yes. Then one day, a squeaky little voice peeped up at one of the meetings. We know why the forest has gone crazy, don't we? And whose squeaky voice? Suddenly everyone was silent. They looked at Makar fearfully. But to their surprise, he looked nervous. He shook a rat off his tail, and there was a rat on his tail, and asked the small crocodile, why, little fellow? It all began with the turtle. Okay, okay, Makara said.
Sir,
There's no need to talk so much.
sir,
Yes. What happened?
sir, I have a doubt.
Yes.
Sir, the little crocodile said that everybody knows why the forest has gone mad, but in the above sentence it says that they didn't understand what happened to the happy forest home.
Yes. There is. Tell
Sir,
loudly.
sir,
No, it all began with the tortoise. Actually, see that mouse is telling, it all began with what? Tortoise. Probably it was taunting him. And then Makar says, okay, there's no need to talk so much. Makar didn't want to admit he was wrong, but it didn't matter. Now Makar was a leader. Yes, very egoistic leader, egocentric leader. Yes, he was not a good leader, isn't it? All the crocodiles knew now that he was not all that strong or powerful or always right. They sent urgent messages all over the place for the tortoises. So all others came together and they felt that he was no more. Yes, he was a worse leader. He was not a right leader. He was not able to take right decisions. So all these people came together. All the crocodiles came together. They took the decision. They sent the messages to all the animals, tortoises, snakes, and lizards, to all the reptiles to come back to Pambupati. And what a great it was when these creatures came back, family after family with their little ones on their backs or strangling behind. Some of them were left behind. They were shouting, some of those babies at their parents to wait for them. ठहरो ठहरो हमें भी लेके जाओ। कौन बोल रहे थे? बच्चे बोल रहे थे। हाँ, किसके बच्चे बोल रहे थे? कुछ लिजर्ड्स, कुछ क्रोको, यस, हाँ, tortoises के आप देख रहे हैं ना, वापिस आ रहे हैं। In 2 months, the forest was back to normal. The rats disappeared. The insects disappeared. The smell also went away, and the world finally went back to its familiar old self. So leader का अपना बहुत important place रहता है. Well, Prem, the old man said, have you fallen asleep? क्या नींद आ गई? Did my story send you off to dreamland? आप सो नहीं है ना? नहीं रहे ना? मकर की स्टोरी तो सुनी है। मकर जैसा लीडर मत बनो। यस, नहीं तो बकरा बन जाएंगे। नहीं क्या? वो बकरा बन गया। कौन बकरा बन गया? मकर बकरा बन गया। I shook my head. No, grandfather. I was just thinking, maybe it's time. So अभी प्रेम की स्टोरी शुरू हो गई। यस, ग्रैंडफादर ने एक स्टोरी बोल दी, प्रेम ने अलग स्टोरी बोला था। Maybe it's time I went back to my own village. I should go back to my village because I have a story to tell them. But what if they don't listen to me? We can only keep at it, my son. Tell these stories again and again to more and more people. Some of them may laugh at you or say your stories are not true, but they may remember them one day and understand that each of us has a place in this strange, funny world of ours. So each of us are unique in this strange world. So each one of us have a yes unique place in this world. Everybody is required. We are all diverse. We are all different. Yes, but everybody has got a unique place in this world. Beautiful story. And who has written this story? Zai Whitaker has written this story. And yes, what is the title of the story? What happened to the reptiles? Very interesting story, isn't it? Yes, did you enjoy the story? My dear children, have you
Yes,
enjoyed the
sir. It
story?
is very interesting
Yes,
story,
sir.
sir.
Ah, it's a very interesting, yes. All right. Okay, read this story. There'll be one or two questions on this story. Okay. Okay,
Sir,
children.
today is 4 o'clock extra class, sir.
Today no extra class because only two, stories are left out, and Monday and Tuesday we'll be able to cover up, and then we'll have the revision also in the remaining next two periods. Okay, and if anything is left out, if whenever extra class is required, I will let you know about that. Okay,
Sir,
today.
please make us revision of grammar, sir. Grammar.
Grammar, whatever part you require, you tell me. We'll have a study on that. Okay, whatever is important, yes. Yes, maybe Monday I'll take extra class on grammar. Okay, 4 o'clock we'll have extra class on grammar on Monday or YouTube video also I'll say. Okay,
Okay, sir.
okay,
Thank you,
Satvik?
sir. Thank you for.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sir,
Thank
Because
you,
in
sir.
grammar,
moral
I
of the
wanted to
story is
cover up. No, in grammar, I wanted to cover up prepositions, which are very, very important later on. So that's why prepositions I will take up. One particular class I'll take up on prepositions. And what grammar is important for your exam, that also I'll take up. Okay? And writing part also I'm going to
sir,
take
this
up.
story
So we are
tells
going to
about
revise that
unity.
thing, what is very important for examination. At the same time, what is important for you all. Yes?
Sir, yes, sir. Sir, this
Yes, sir.
story tells us about unity and diversity, sir.
Yes, unity in diversity. Very good. That is the moral of this story. Okay, unity in
Yes, sir.
diversity. Yes.